Good evening and welcome to George Martin Memorial Field and CTV 30's coverage of Thornton Academy football. Tonight, the Golden Trojans take on the South Portland Red Riots. Thornton come in 2-0. South Portland counters 1-1. Both teams coming off big wins last week. South Portland 40-0 over Westbrook, and Thornton Academy the 39-0 romping of the Stanford Redskins. Tonight, a big game for both teams, really trying to establish themselves in Western A. Thornton Academy got to be consistent, stay on the ground, stay away from the turnovers, which have afflicted their team in the last couple of weeks.
Well, the first couple of weeks, really, with penalties and turnovers, has plagued their offense. Tonight, they're going to try and get some steady play on down the field, and you would think that they can run against the South Portland club as they did last week against Sanford.
And South Portland's key, obviously, is the passing game with Brian Harvey. He's got to scramble. He's got to find his receivers, Story and O'Neill, and Thornton Academy will have to counter with a pass rush.
And that's the key there. Not only the pass rush, Jay, but they have to contain Harvey. We saw what he did last week when he got scrambling out to the outside of the field, forcing the linebackers to come in on him, and then finding his open receivers, the favorite one being Story.
And a big change for Thornton Academy. Kevin Massey, not dressed, will not play this evening. Replacing him will be the sophomore Ryan True at tailback, and on the defensive side, Jake DeRocha. Two very able bodies.
Well, True, thus far this year, we've been very impressive offensively what we've seen him running the football. And DeRocha last week, when he was in the game, all over the field, coming up with some good sticks, I think he's fired up and ready for tonight's game.
And Coach Wolfgram, without Jason Perry, their big lineman, he will not play this evening, and that'll hurt them in the, of course, the pass blocking and their run offense.
And that really, Thornton Academy, that's where they should have their way this evening, being able to control the line of scrimmage. South Portland losing that big lineman. Thornton's big, they're strong, and I think they're going to be very effective in running the ball.
We've had some great games here at George Martin Memorial Field, some memorable ones. We've lost the lights a few times. We've had some great comebacks for Thornton Academy. It should be a good one. Electricity is in the air on both sides as we get geared up for 2-0 Thornton Academy facing the 1-1 South Portland Red Riots right when we come back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to South Portland, George Martin Memorial Field for tonight's Class A varsity football game between the Thornton Academy Golden Trojans, coached by Dick Andreski, and the South Portland High School Red Riots, coached by John Wolfgram. Following the coin toss, the starting lineup will be introduced.
You know what's gonna happen? They don't bring me up and the game starts. I'm gonna unplug them and I'm just gonna do the game on TV. Hell with them. This is ridiculous.
Attention please, Michael Beatty, please report to the front gate. Michael Beatty, the front gate.
That crowd mic's loud.
Yeah, and you know the thing is, last week when I called, I had to let it ring and ring and ring and then hang up, try again. Oh, here comes Tony now. That was fast. He's just coming up the center bleachers here. He should be here in a second.
Oh, God. Test. This is the way the Marty always is. It's hooked up. I always keep it right there. Right?
I suppose it would have nothing to do with the other people out there. I mean,
I wouldn't think so.
yeah, we're just going to do TV, I guess, Tom.
Karen, is it something internally with you guys? I mean, I got it hooked up the way I always do.
Now for the starting lineup for tonight's game. Starting on defense.
Test. Test.
Senior, number 68,
Test.
Captain Alex Potter.
Test.
The other defensive end,
Test.
senior, number 82, Aaron Knox.
Test.
At defensive tackle, a junior, number 78.
Test,
Greg
test,
Lamar.
test.
Defensive tackle, senior, number 64, Captain John Darrell.
Karen, I don't know if you want to try calling somebody.
Inside
What's the
linebacker,
deal?
senior, number 32, Chad
This
Hediera.
is insane.
Inside linebacker, junior, number 45, James DeRosa.
Is there anything metal up there?
Outside
The nearest
linebacker,
one is right
number
there.
44,
What?
Captain Jason
POR
Kudrow.
had an antenna. And
Let's try it, Tony.
Linebacker, senior, number 28, Dave
I know, sorry.
Mackey.
I'm gonna take the cord outside.
Cornerback, senior, number 22, Christian Billion. Cornerback, sophomore, number 11, Chris Mercier. And free safety, a junior, number 16, Kyle Shaw. Starting on offense for South Portland. At tight end, junior, number 85, Dan Rodiger. At split end, senior, number 36, James Story. At left tackle, a senior, number 75, Ryan Cummings. At left guard, a junior, number 52, Drew Hughes. At center, a junior, number 57, Ben Blackwood. At right guard, a senior, number 58, Captain John Buck. At right tackle, a senior, number 70, Vinny Shaw. At fullback, a senior, number 44, Captain Packy Tom. At right back, senior, number 45, Jason Flagg. At tailback, sophomore, number 33, Tim Lawson. And at quarterback, a senior, number 12, Captain Brian Harvey. The officials for tonight's game. Referee, Mike Williams. Head linesman, Frank Leach. Umpire, Joe Williams. Line judge, Jeff Forrest. And timer, Ward Sherwood. You all now please rise for the playing of the national anthem by the South Portland High School Marching Band.
just TV.
Yep.
Is this unplugged in?
No, we're still trying. Oh, it doesn't stop that. Maybe we got it. Karen, we moved the antenna, and that's on transmit now, and we can hear it still. There's this. Pick, we're going to come up after national anthem, unfortunately. We're watching the national anthem. What are you doing? Where are you going?
Yeah, these wires kind of suck the bag.
The video's rolling up above. Watch what you say. Oh, just be careful. All right, but it's got to be that way. I don't want that over there. Well, no, I think we got it now. Well, we're going to wait till we hear us. Welcome back to CTV 30's coverage of Thornton Academy football. South Portland and Thornton Academy just about set for the opening kickoff. Jay Harper along with Marc Paquette.
South Portland having won the toss and electing to defer to the second half, so Thornton Academy will be taking the football.
Good evening and welcome to George Martin Memorial Field, Thornton Academy and South Portland. And the Red Riots getting set to kick off. Jay Harper along with Marc Paquette. Ben Blackwood will be doing the kicking for the Red Riots. And back to receive for Thornton Academy. Ryan True in the middle. To his right, Chris Mercier. On the left side, Christian Doyen. Red Riots coming in 1-1. Thornton Academy 2-0, both having big wins last week. Red Riots 40-0 over Westbrook. Thornton Academy 39-0 over South Portland. Excuse me, over Sanford. The kick goes to Doyen, comes to the near side of the field. Gets a crease and gets it out to the 26-yard line, where Thornton will set up first down and 10.
Looked like he was going to have an alley on the right side of the field, but James Story came in quickly, closed the door, and Thornton Academy at the 26-yard line.
Thornton Academy will start first and 10 at the 27-yard line.
Thornton with a change this week. Kevin Massey, starting tailback out, not playing. And Ryan True, the tailback. Thornton comes out in the eye, Burgess on the option, and that play is thwarted as the Red Riots crush it. Patrick Toms, along with Chadburn, and they throw Boudreaux for a loss of 1 on the play.
Jason Flagg also coming in at the end to help with the gang tackle. And last week we saw against Westbrook some very strong linebacker play by these Red Riots, led by Patrick Toms.
That'll bring up a second down and 11.
Second and 11 at the 20.
Andy Burgess brings them out. Sends Doyen and Massey both to the far side. The Trojans are in the eye. Fumbled snap. Ball on the turf. The Red Riots got it. South Portland with a quick turnover. Botch snap.
An ambitious start for the Trojans. First play, they're getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage, and then Burgess having trouble handling that ball. And South Portland with some excellent field position here on their opening drive. And now it's up to the Thornton Academy defense to come up big.
John Buck on the recovery for the Red Riots. And Brian Harvey brings them out. Sends Crosby to the far side. Flagg sets up shot to the near side. In the eye with Lawson and Toms. First and 10. Harvey goes to Lawson. Off the right side, not much doing. Tripped up by Greg Lamar.
Lamar, last week we saw great penetration all afternoon against the Redskins. And on that first play, able to get down low and trip Lawson up for a very short gain.
Gain of 2. It'll bring up a second down and 8.
And the key for Thornton's defense this evening in pass situations is going to be getting some pressure on Harvey and forcing him to make the quick throw.
James Story comes to the near side of the field. Split backfield with Lawson and Toms. Harvey fakes the handoff, rolling left, looking for the crease. He's got it. All kinds of room as he dances into the secondary and down to the 3-yard line.
Harvey showing his quickness on that play. Going with a little play action, roll out left. And it looked like Jason Boudreaux was going to be able to make the stop, but Harvey accelerating, running for the corner. First and goal for the Red Riots.
And South Portland, quick turnover and great second down play. You could see that was a run from the beginning. Harvey just tucked it in and booted right around the corner. First and goal to go for the Red Riots. Opening moments, first quarter. Harvey to Lawson. Lawson breaking outside, touchdown.
Lawson had great success last week on that goal line set. And South Portland not only coming up with the turnover, but able to convert them into points here early in the first quarter.
The Red Riots are pumped. Harvey coming off the field going nuts, and then he ran and did his baseball slide. Maybe a little displeased that they're not playing Major League Baseball anymore this season, but he slid across the grass a little moist, about 7 feet, and still kept pumping the fist. He's got his team with a quick 6-0 lead. Ben Blackwood in for the extra point try. O'Neill will be the holder. Low snap, up on the tee, kick up, and good.
Right down the middle.
And with 9:48 to play, South Portland 7-0 over Thornton Academy. Well, Mark, we were talking before the game and saying Thornton really needs to take out the turnovers out of their game. They played some pretty good football first 2 weeks to get to 2-0, but still those costly turnovers have really kept the other team in it and made it much closer than it needed to be. And right off the start, botch snap, fumble, and South Portland, a very dangerous team, of course, being led by the senior Harvey, can really turn that into points, and they did right there.
And oftentimes it's not only turning the ball over, it's where the turnover occurs. This time South Portland getting the ball inside the 25-yard line. Excellent shot at some points, and as you saw, they were able to convert it very quickly.
Big crowd on hand on this Friday night contest. And these two teams have played some outstanding contests over the last 7 years. A low snap, bounces off, onside kick. I think the Red Riots might have it. It wasn't an intentional one, but it bounced off the front line of Thornton Academy. Karam to the right, and the Red Riots got the turnover, leading 7-0 in the ball right at midfield, just over midfield. And they got a first down and 10.
Lineman really not moving out of the way. I didn't catch the number, but that hitting right off his leg and then taking a sideways bounce, and great hustle by those South Portland Red Riots to pounce on that ball. And now you're going to find out what type of poise these young Trojans have here this evening.
And South Portland, of course, looking for the upset. And that one, a lot of luck involved. That was not an intentional onside kick. Blackwood just boomed it low, and it hit off the legs of the front line, and South Portland with it. 1st and 10, handoff to Toms, and nothing in the middle. Lamar right in the middle, along with Aaron Knox making the stop for Thornton Academy, and also Jake DeRocher. It's Harvey, the kid that Thornton needs to contain. They need to contain him running and passing. They really need to get a pass rush on him, and he showed why he's so dangerous on that 22-yard scramble on 2nd down on their first possession.
And containing is the key, whether it be the defensive end or the outside linebackers. They can't give Harvey the outside of the field.
2nd down and 9. Red Riots in the eye. Harvey dropping straight back, looking downfield, lofting it out. Mercier there, falls down, and Story has the catch all the way down to the 20-yard line. Harvey floated that ball up in the air. Mercier was setting himself up, and he slipped, and Story, the easy catch, and the big pickup all the way down to the Trojan 20-yard line.
Right now, the breaks certainly favoring the Red Riots. That was not a well-thrown football, especially with Harvey's standards, the way he can rifle the ball in there. But as you said, Mercier slipping, and that leaving Story all by himself out on the near side of the field.
1st and 10, Red Riots. Harvey sends Story to the far side, flag to the near. Split backfield with Lawson and Toms. Harvey, straight back drop again, fires out over the middle, coverage there, and that ball goes off the fingertips of James Story. Christian Doyen providing outstanding coverage on that quick in route.
Well, that's a similar pattern you'll see the Trojans use, just a slant over the middle by the split end, and Doyen was with Story all the way, and he's going to have his hands full this evening, because as we saw last week, Story's a fine receiver.
Certainly came on in last week's contest against the Blue Blazes. A 2nd down and 10 now for the Red Riots. In the eye, handoff up the middle, and there's big Greg Lamar ripping down Patrick Toms. He just continues his outstanding play at the DT position.
Lamar, that first step, very quick, that interior line, and he's oftentimes meets the back at the same time they receive the handoff. He's come up big these last couple of weeks, and now in a 3rd down in what would appear to be a passing situation. Thornton Academy once again needs to get that pressure in the backfield.
Blackwood, an outstanding kicker. They could be in field goal range, but you would think 4 down territory. So the Riots only need to pick up 4 or 5 to put themselves in position to go for it on 4th. Harvey dropping back, got pressure, scrambles outside, running, now firing downfield, incomplete. And again, just brilliant scrambling ability of Brian Harvey.
Greg Lamar once again there, and Jason Boudreau to the outside, and that's where Harvey is especially dangerous when he's on the run.
A 4th and 9 now from the 20-yard line. And I think just outside of Blackwood's range, although he does have a powerful foot.
And the Trojans can't be caught here in an over pursuit because the Red Riots may come at him with screen or draw.
I thought for a moment that's what they were setting up on that play. 4th and 9, Story to the near, O'Neal to the far, firing out for the big tight end. And Roediger almost had it. In and out of the bed basket.
Beautifully laid ball right out there to Roediger. Nice soft toss. And really, Jay, Thornton Academy very fortunate there because that very well could have been 6 points for the Red Riots.
So Thornton holds, and they'll take over on downs at their own 20-yard line, trailing 7-0. Welcome all our listeners on All Sports 1440, and of course our viewers on CTV 30 to Harper and Marc Paquette. Simulcast with you on this Friday night. Handoff to Ryan True. True slips down and gets popped low.
Drew Hughes, I do believe.
Gain of 4 on the play. Looked like a real big hit because True was slipping down, and then Hughes was right down there to meet him up high. That brings up a 2nd and 6 now. Quarterback Burgess brings him out. He sends sophomore Mercia to the near side. Stetson to the far. Go on the option, and chaos in the backfield. Burgess somehow comes out of there and gets 3 yards.
And that's just pure strength right there because that certainly was a broken play after the fake. Burgess wanting to keep the ball and really surrounded by Red Riots and able to drag them. As you said, nice little 3-yard pickup, and now they're going to be faced with a 3rd and short.
Burgess able to get out of the grasp of both Roediger and Toms, as that play has not looked good for Thornton Academy. 2 attempts on the option. Both have been stopped in the backfield initially. 3rd and 2 in the eye. They go to True off the right side. He meets and greets and runs right over Patrick Toms. That's, David Lessa, number 42. And True will have the Thornton Academy 1st down, picking up 7 yards on the play.
And for those young running backs out there, notice the way True lowers his center of gravity, meeting the tackler head on, not standing straight up, and that momentum was able to carry himself over the 1st down marker. And that's what the coaching staff is looking for from Ryan, more of that brutal type running.
For our radio listeners, senior tailback linebacker Kevin Massey not playing tonight because of disciplinary reasons. And True getting the start at tailback. Jason Boudreau up the middle. He'll get 12 yards all the way out to the 48-yard line.
Little misdirection type. Handoff left and then cutting it back up against the grain towards the middle of the field. A great 1st down pickup, and Thornton Academy with 2 or 3 linemen, Alex Harder down the field for those downfield blocks.
Burgess sends Stetson and Doyen to the far side of the field. Goes to True. True dancing inside, and he'll get another quick 5 yards. Brought down by Buck and Toms.
The Trojans having some real nice success out there running over Fisk and Harder on that left side.
Ryan True, a 6-foot, 195-pound sophomore, almost mirroring Tim Lawson. Lawson not quite as tall, but 5'9" and 202. Both sophomores and both big and exciting. 2nd and 3. Doyen to the near side. The pitch comes to True, trying to get outside. Lessa grabs him and brings him down for a 4-yard loss. Monster back David Lessa.
And the Trojans had fullback Jason Boudreau leading, pushing the defensive end to the outside, and True decided to, rather than cut it up to the inside, continue on the outside, and that allowed him to shed that blocker and make an outstanding defensive play. Now we may see Thornton Academy attempt to put the ball up in the air.
Ball just over midfield at the 48, a loss of 3 on the play. Dave Nassy comes to the near side. Chris Mercia to the far. Burgess fakes. Now looking downfield, fires up high, it's picked off. Story's got it down the far sideline. He's at the 50, cuts inside to the 40. Still on his feet, weaving his way through traffic and slips down at the 34-yard line of Thornton Academy.
The Trojans go with a fake to the fullback. Burgess with all kinds of time. And corner came right up on split wide out. Chris Mercia bumped him at the line of scrimmage, and Mercia having a hard time getting out into the secondary, and then Burgess's throw was too high. And Story comes up with the interception, and then a nice job of taking it down the far sideline for a nice gain. South Portland coming up with some big defensive plays here early in the game.
3:38 to play, first quarter. First and 10 for the Red Riots. Hand off to Lawson, trying to get outside. Harder grabs on and holds on, but he slips away at the last minute and gets forward for a gain of 1. Verrill and Boudreau in on the shot for Thornton.
And that's what you need from your outside contain man. He's forcing everything back to the inside, and then you have Verrill scraping down the line, following with pursuit, and tackling the ball carrier from behind for no gain.
South Portland with upset all over their minds, and certainly getting the breaks early, leading 7-0. Harvey rolling left, and there's Verrill, grips on, and he'll haul down Harvey for a loss of 8 yards on the play.
Same play they used when they scored the touchdown, the fake to the fullback, going to the right side of the field, and then attempting to have Harvey bootleg to this side, but not that time. Verrill all over the play, as well as 3 or 4 other Trojans. Jake DeRocher, I believe Harder was there. Many white jerseys in on that tackle.
Verrill didn't buy the fake, and he had containment on the outside, forced Harvey inside, and then grabbed on and able to make the tackle. That brings up a 3rd down and 19 now for South Portland. The ball at Thornton's 43-yard line. Slot left formation, flag now goes in motion. Movement on the right side, and I believe Thornton Academy jumped offside.
Looked like the left side of the line jumped, right in the middle.
Maybe movement against South Portland caused it. They're heading towards South Portland.
And that's what is. You're right, Jay.
They did have movement on the offensive line, so that moves them back 5 more. It'll set up a 3rd and 24. Jay Harper, Marc Paquette with you. Dennis Avery, Mark Pickard on the cameras. Tony Ryan, statistician. Simulcast with CTV 30 of Saco and Old Orchard. And of course, broadcasting live on All Sports 1440. Glad you're with us. And so far, a very good start for the South Portland Red Riots. Big play here, 3rd and a whole bunch of change. Harvey brings them out. Story comes to the near side of the field. Flag to the far. Harvey dropping straight back, got time, fires down the middle, and it's picked off. Kyle Shaw with a pick. Comes up the middle, and he's hauled down at the 40-yard line. Tim Lawson brings him down.
Shaw doing a fine job that time as the safety, just staying back, making sure all his receivers were in front of him, and then when Harvey steps up to throw the ball over the middle, Kyle makes his move to the forward and is able to come up with that ball. And South Portland right now would have had a chance to start to put this thing not away, but certainly put a lot of pressure on the Trojans.
Their 3rd possession, and they've had great field position each and every time. Thornton's defense has had the answer the last 2. Handoff to True, and he gets punished, knocked backwards, a loss of a yard on the play. Chadburn, Buck.
And offensively for the Trojans, what they need is they need to put the ball up in the air a couple of times with some success, because South Portland right now is just keying up on the run, and they're really stuffing that middle.
South Portland's defense has certainly answered the bell. They've come out and played some excellent defense and has Thornton scratching their heads right now. 2nd and 11. Burgess to throw, fires out, and it just behind Hassey, and he almost came up with a great catch.
Well, he was open, breaking over the middle, that slant pattern that we talked about earlier, and Burgess just threw the ball a little behind. Nassy unable to come up with it. And now in these situations, what we saw the last couple of weeks is the Riots like to send their linebackers on pass situations to put that added pressure on the opposing quarterback.
Toms and Hughes, as they play the 5-2 defense. Toms and Hughes now switch in the middle. Two receivers to the near side. Boudreau rolling out, fires downfield, and it's incomplete. Underthrew Sean Stetson, and that'll bring up a 4th down punting situation for Thornton Academy. And I wonder about the 2 weeks prior. Thornton Academy playing both afternoon games, Oxford Hills and Sanford on Saturday afternoon. South Portland, 3rd week under the lights. Of course, they play under the lights at home each and every season. Thornton maybe not used to these lights and taking some time to get going here.
Well, they certainly have had trouble offensively this evening. Right now, their defense is keeping them in this game. They've made 2 great defensive stands thus far.
Burgess will punt it away. Back to receive Harvey and Story. Good blocking by the up back for Thornton Academy. Dave Nassy in the punt takes a big roll, and it'll go all the way down to the 21-yard line. Flag comes in late, and that gets the South Portland crowd excited. Didn't see exactly what happened. Did Mercier like kick the ball as it rolled? And I don't know why that'd be a penalty. It would be marked down where he touched it. Not sure of the ruling on that one. If there is obviously a penalty in the rules that you can't do that. The ball rolling downfield, and he just touched it off the foot a couple of yards forward. Wasn't flagrant.
Well, I was under the assumption that if you touch the ball, the first touch is where the ball will be marked. It looks like they're going to kick over.
And he touches his shoulder, then he lifts his right leg and shows that he kicked it. And
he's got a cramp. I'm not sure what's going on.
They're going to mark off 15 yards and make the Trojans kick it again.
And in pregame, Burgess was booming some punts.
So South Portland having everything their way here in the first quarter. They lead 7-0, and now Thornton moves back 15, and Harvey and Story set up shop at their own 45, set to return. Long count, high snap, goes over Burgess's head, and that'll roll maybe out of the back of the end zone. And it is a safety. Tack on 2 more, and the Trojans will have to punt it away back to South Portland.
Burgess right there did the smart thing. The ball stopped a couple yards shy of the end zone, and rather than trying to pick it up and taking a chance of fumbling, he just kind of tapped it with his foot out of bounds and gave South Portland the 2. And my goodness.
Well, why didn't they throw the flag there? He used his foot the same way on the punt.
Maybe that was legal, I don't know. I have no idea really, honestly, Jay, what that first call was. The ball was kicked, it rolled down the field. Mercier there touched it, and then the flag came in the area that he had downed the ball. So I don't know if it had anything to do with the actual kick.
Well, with 19 seconds to play, first quarter, our score, South Portland 9, Thornton Academy nothing. And now Thornton will have to punt it or kick it from their own 20-yard line. And South Portland will get great field position one more time. And Thornton Academy just doing everything wrong here this evening.
Thornton Academy will kick from the 20-yard line.
Looks like they'll put it up on the tee, and Ryan True will kick off. 3 deep for the Red Riots. Lessa, Story, and Lawson. Tom's the short man in the middle. Good high end-over-end kick. It'll be Lawson. Bobbles it, picks it back up at his own 40. Comes right up the middle. There's a seam. Look out. Lawson going down the sideline. A flag comes in. Fumble on the field. And the ball's still loose, and the Trojans may have it. We'll have to check the flag.
Well, that's going to be on South Portland. Well,
Fumble on the play, recovered by Thornton Academy. Chad Burrell, penalty flag on the play.
I thought I saw a clip by one of the Riots right about midfield.
It was, so Thornton Academy will decline the penalty, and they'll get the ball back. A big, big break back for Thornton. And it's been a bizarre first quarter, and we told you at the outset, they have played many, many brilliant and bizarre contests here at George Martin Memorial Field. Going back to 1990, Thornton Academy was down 21-0, came back in the fourth quarter to take the lead 22-21, and then with a little bit of time left, about 50 seconds, South Poland drove the length of the field and scored to win it. And that'll do it in the first quarter. Our score, South Poland 9, Thornton Academy nothing. You're listening to All Sports 1440. Welcome back to George Martin Memorial Field. J. Harper and Marc Paquette. Thornton Academy airing it out on second down, and the pass way overthrown. And that'll set up a 3rd and 11.
Thus far, Burgess has had all night to throw the football, but the South Portland secondary doing a great job. No receivers open on that last throw.
Burgess brings them out, sends Stetson and Doyen to the far side. Steps up in the pocket, he's got room to run. Breaks away to the near side. He'll have the first down over the 50-yard line into South Portland territory. A gain of 17 on the play.
South Portland putting some good pressure on Burgess, and he does the wise thing, steps up in the pocket, sees that middle kind of soft. All he had to do was get by one linebacker, and he was able to get out of bounds just over the 50-yard line, and a first down for Thornton Academy.
Massey comes to the near side, Doyon to the far. Burgess, straight back drop, fires out, and he's got his man Massey. Massey with the catch, and they're gonna spot him down, saying his knee touched. And I think his knee was down, and then he came back up and caught the ball. And Massey broke that one and was maybe headed toward the end zone.
You have to give credit to the official, though. He was about a yard away from the receiver, right on top of things, so it must have been the proper call. As you said, Massey did go down on a knee. It's still positive yardage for the Trojans on first down.
Doyen comes to the near side. Stetson to the far, handoff to True, and nothing doing in the middle. Brought down by number 62, Pat Batchelor. And Batchelor brings him down after a very short gain.
South Portland has been extremely tough up the middle this evening. We expected Thornton Academy to be able to run the football because of their size up front, but thus far, South Portland winning the war up front.
Down in the trenches. 3rd and a long 5. Doyen goes to the far. Massey comes to the near side. Burgess fakes, fires over the middle. Got Massey, great catch. Still going, still going. He's down to the 15, the 10, inside the 10-yard line. What a great play by Dave Massey.
The Trojans go to play action to the fullback on the left side. Massey runs a little in route. Burgess right on the money with the throw, and then after catching the ball, Massey breaks a couple of tackles, tacks on another 20 yards, and another first down for the Trojans.
And And that'll be first down now and goal to go for Thornton Academy. The ball at the 9. 4 plays to go 9 yards, trailing by 9. Stetson and Doyen go to the far side of the field. True and Boudreau in the eye. Burgess to Boudreau, and again, nothing on that option play. Flying in there, Dan Roediger, and he really put a cog in that play quickly.
A lot of big hits down on the field this evening. The Riots definitely have come to play.
This is the best we've seen South Portland look to date.
Second and goal at the 8.
Certainly playing strong defensively up front. Thornton Academy's high-powered offense has really yet to get going. Stetson and Mercia go to the far side. In the eye again, it's Ryan True off the left side. He's got a hole. He's down to about the 2-yard line.
Ryan True for Thornton Academy, stopped by Jason Flagg.
Good lead block by Jason Boudreau that
Goal
time.
at the 2.
And I believe they're going to mark it at the 2-yard line, Jay.
Third and goal from the 2. Thornton comes out in the power backfield, a wishbone almost. Boudreau, the man in the middle. They go to Jason Boudreau right behind Ryan True, and they're going to spot him short. It'll be 4th and goal. Toms and Roediger in there again for South Portland.
Thornton Academy has been very successful with their goal line offense this season, going to the 3 backs.
And Thornton Academy has used a timeout. We'll take a break. Thornton, South Portland, Red Riots by 9. Back after this. Back with you at George Martin Memorial Field. 4th down and goal to go. The Trojans come out. South Portland digging in. The handoff off the left side. I don't know if he got it. There was a fumble on the play, and Story recovered it. James Story come out with the ball. And South Portland has held at the goal line. They spot him right at the 1. The Red Riots, their backs to the end zone, but they have held a brilliant goal line stand. Thornton's big offensive line not doing the job this evening. Thornton's front 5 of Perrault, Tabor, Fisk, Verrill, and Harder go 225, 2, 2, 2, 220. And right now, that size is not winning the war in the trenches. 1st and 10 for the Red Riots. Harvey goes to Patrick Toms. And Toms dives out over the middle, picking up a couple of yards on the play.
And what South Portland really needs here is to be able to pick up a couple of first downs so that when they do, if they do have to punt the football, they'll give them a little bit of breathing room from behind, because right now, if the Trojans are able to stop them 3 out in a punt, they're going to come up with some fine field position of their own.
8 minutes and 15 seconds here in the first half. Harvey brings them out. In the eye again. They go to Lawson. Lawson with some room up the middle. He'll be out very close to a South Portland first down. It'll bring up, I believe, about 3rd and 2.
It appears he's just shy of the 10-yard line.
3rd and run at
A
the
short 2 or
10-yard line.
a long 1. Depends how you look at it.
Big down for both clubs, especially Thornton trailing by 9. Would love to stop and force a punt to set up some good field position. Red Riots come out in the eye. Again, it's Lawson. He's got room and should have the first down. And he punches out for 5 yards. Lamar coming down to help out to make the tackle. And 1st and 10 now for the Red Riots.
Well-designed play, leading Toms, the fullback, into the hole. Lawson follows him, and good strong running by Lawson. Just a sophomore. Been very impressive.
Of course, the injury in the first game versus Lawrence to Andrew Fawcett set up the mega playing time for Lawson, although the coaching staff of South Poland saying he would have played a lot anyway. Harvey fakes, rolling out to the left. He's got room to the outside. He's got 5, dives out for 10 yards, and very close to another South Poland first down.
Once again, going with that fake to the fullback and getting to the outside of Thornton Academy's containment and able to turn that into a big gain.
They move the chains. It'll be another South Portland first down.
At the 25-yard line.
Ball at their own 25. Harvey sends Crosby and Story to the near side of the field. They're in the eye in the backfield. Quick handoff to Patrick Toms. And Toms will get 3 yards out close to the 30.
And I'm sure the Riots would love to right now go on a nice long ball control drive, chew up the rest of this first half, and possibly stick another one in the end zone.
I'm a little surprised at the 9 points by South Portland, but I'm really surprised at the 0 up on the board for Thornton Academy.
And I'm sure they're surprised also.
2nd and 6. Harvey has them in the eye again. Double tight ends, goes to Lawson. He's got a lot of room outside, and he'll get 13 yards and another South Portland first down.
And the key there is Adam Crosby, the tight end, coming down, firing on Nasty, the outside linebacker for Thornton Academy, and pushing him about 8 yards down the field. All kinds of room on this side, the near side of the field, and another first down for the Red Riots.
Lawson gets out of bounds, stops the clock with 5:48 to play in the second quarter. Harvey brings them out, splits it up with Toms and Lawson. Double tight ends, they go to Toms in the middle. And not much doing, brought down once again by Greg Lamar.
Lamar once again able to get in the backfield and wrap up the ball carrier for very little gain.
I think maybe Greg Lamar liked that gut bomb sandwich so much this past week. He wants another. Playing great defensively in the 2nd consecutive week. Red Riots come out in the eye. They go to Lawson, picking his way through the middle, and he'll only get a couple. And that'll set up a 3rd and 7 now for the Red Riots. Ball at their own 45.
Jake DeRocha doing a nice job of reading a run, coming up, meeting the guard on the inside, taking that blocker away from the hole, and then the other Trojans right there to come up with the stop. Now we look for a little more excitement from Mr. Harvey.
36 up the 45.
Quad captain Jason Perry, number 61, out of action tonight on that left tackle position. And South Portland, though, doing the job and mostly running to the right side. Brian Cummings playing the left tackle in place of Perry. Handoff to Toms. He'll be thrown for a 2-yard loss. It's Greg Lamar again.
Who else?
Getting help with Hetty Harris. He is just dominating his man. And Lamar is playing on that right side and kind of lining up with Cummings. And also over on that side is Drew Hughes. And Lamar having his way. He is just really in on everything.
The Riots try pulling a guard, and Lamar takes the vacated hole and brings the ball carrier down for a loss.
So Thornton Academy now drops back to receive the Blackwood punt. Mercier and Doyon set up at their own 25. Blackwood, a good high kick, but it's short. And it bounces down, and Thornton just watches it. And last second, Thornton Academy diving on that ball. I'm not sure if anyone touched it. But Tabor was there to get on top of the football, and Thornton Academy was set up first down and 10 at their own 27, trailing 9-0 with 4:01 to play in the first half. And the Trojans really need to drive here and get some points on the board before the half.
They certainly do, and South Portland's going to be receiving the second half kickoff.
Doyon comes to the near side of the field. Stetson goes to the far. Boudreau, fullback, big hole, right side, down the field. He's out to midfield, down the sideline, punishing all the way down to the South Portland 37-yard line. What a run by Jason Boudreau.
Well, not only does he show his bull running to the inside, but when Jason gets to the outside, he shows his quickness, especially for a fullback. Thornton Academy needed a big play. Jason Boudreau answered the bell.
Certainly did, and he barreled down that sideline, and now Coach John Wolfgram of South Portland will take a defensive timeout. He likes that one, I think perfected by former Biddeford coach Mike Landry. He used more defensive timeouts, I think, than offensive throughout his career, and Coach Wolfgram now wants to settle the troops down. And Boudreau last week breaking off that 75-yard run showed he has very good speed. And I remember at the beginning of the year, a lot of people around the Saco area saying there wasn't much speed on this team. Boudreau's having something to say about this from the fullback position. He possesses very good speed. Maybe not blazing, but he can get outside and get it down the field.
Well, on that 75-yard run last weekend, he outran the corners, and there aren't too many fullbacks in the league that are going to outrun cornerbacks and safeties. Boudreau was able to do it, and now Thornton Academy at about the 42-yard line, 3:43 remaining. As you well know, over the years, they've had that ability at the end of the first half to strike quickly and come up with a big touchdown.
Thornton Academy committing turnover after turnover in that first quarter. There were 5 turnovers total in that first quarter, and one here in the second for a total of 6 turnovers. We're at the bakery, folks. I'll have a couple of turnovers, make mine a lemon. First and 10 for the Trojans. Burgess goes on the option, fakes, pitches out to True. He's got some room outside, and he'll get it down to about the 30-yard line. A gain of 7 on the play. Brought down by Jim O'Neill, number 7.
And that's where the Trojans are going to have to go to find success, because the Riots have been just bottling up the interior line, and that should leave the outside a little bit soft.
Say hi to all the folks listening on the other side of the field from Thornton Academy. Brought their radios along to catch it live instead of the next day. Handoff up the middle. Boudreau breaks the tackle into the secondary again. Down to the 15-yard line, running right over Jason Flagg.
Another great run by Boudreau. Stetson down the field with a nice block on the corner, staying with his man all the way down. And Thornton Academy here, not taking much time, not chewing up much time on the clock. Right at the 15-yard line, picking up another first down.
Boudreau really now starting to get it going, as is the offensive line. Maybe hearing what we had to say, not doing the job up front. Now digging in and blowing open some big holes. The pitch goes to True, to the outside, going wide. South Portland gets out there and hauls him down for a very short pickup. He may have got 1 on the play.
South Portland on the left side that time, just hit in red, slid right down the line. Linebackers come in, filling the gaps quickly. Really no place for True to go on that play.
Gain of 1. It'll be a 2nd down 9 now for Thornton Academy. Burgess brings them out, sends Mercia to the near side, Massey to the far. Fakes, drops straight back, firing out over the middle, got his man Massey. Touchdown. Boy, what a receiver he has turned out to be for Thornton Academy.
And that's been a very familiar play for the Trojans this season. The fake to Boudreau on the inside, Massey cutting over the middle, and most importantly, Burgess setting his feet, coming right over the top with a rifle. And Thornton Academy, before the first half, once again able to strike, and perhaps catch a little bit of momentum going into halftime. That is, if their defense is able to hold the Riots. So let's not forget, still over 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
Jason Boudreau, the new kicker for Thornton Academy. And he lines up what looks to be the extra point try. Snap held. Now Burgess gets up, rolling wide, getting outside, still on his feet, and now he goes down. So the low snap, Burgess couldn't handle it and stood up just in time, but couldn't find anyone open in the end zone. And South Portland with the 9-6 lead, 2:01 to play. You're watching CTV 30. And of course, Mark, that play right there, the kicking game. If you're Coach Agresti, why do you keep going to this kicking game that just hasn't worked to date? I mean, the problem the first 2 weeks was in the kicking itself. Now the bad snap. Why not run the two-point team? You got a team who can really run the option play. Burgess can roll and run. He can pass. Why not just keep working on your two-point play?
You may well see them do that, and very soon, because this is something that's plagued the Trojans for the past couple of years, and it always seems to be something. If it's not the kicking portion of the game, it's the blocking up front or a bad snap. Really, it's the one flaw they have.
9-6. You're listening to WLPZ, Westbrook, Portland. Harper and Marc Paquette with you. Ryan True, a booming kick. Sends Lessa all the way back to the 14. He comes right up the middle, big hole, and then a nice trip-up tackle for Thornton Academy. Ryan True, the kicker, from his knees, making the stop. And South Portland will set up first down and 10 from their own 36. Fine return by David Lessa. He got it and just flew right up the middle. Kamikaze style, not worrying about any of the tackle, is just going straight forward. And South Portland with the ball, 1:45 to play in the first half. Crosby comes to the near side. Flag and slot right formation. Fumble on the field. The Trojans got it.
My goodness.
And it's Greg Lamar.
This is unbelievable, and we have a South Portland Riot down on the field.
Greg Lamar has been there play after play, and he's got another fumble recovery for the Trojans, playing incredible defensive football. And it looks like Patrick Toms may be down for the Red Riots, and that would be a huge, huge blow. Both sides of the ball, he is their leader. And certainly on that defense from his middle linebacker position. He is down on the field in pain, being attended to right now. And now getting up. So maybe a wind-loss situation, and that's not a pleasant thing to go through. Some of the scariest 30 seconds of your life.
But it's great to see him running off the field on his own.
He appears to be up and okay. He'll sit out at least one play, and then probably, knowing Patrick Toms, he'll be right back in the lineup. The Trojans, though, down by 3 with 1:27, have outstanding field position at South Portland's 35. Burgess, the handoff to Boudreau into the secondary. And a nice tackle. David Lessa getting the shoestrings and bringing down Boudreau at the 30.
If Lesser misses that tackle, Boudreau has the outside of the field. Next man to come up on him would be the corner. So a fine job, fine open field tackle.
Good trap blocking up front by the Thornton Academy offensive line. Tight. Double slot formation, True and Mercier in the slots. They fake, pass rush coming in, Burgess in trouble. He's thrown for a big loss. Drew Hughes with the big play. And Burgess now slow at getting up. And that's a loss of 6 on the play. And that'll set up a 3rd and 16, and actually a much bigger loss than that, because the ball was down to the 31-yard line, so a loss of 9 yards, almost 10, with a gain on first down, and that sets up a big 3rd down play for the Trojans. But with just 44 seconds left, you would expect Thornton to go for it both on 3rd and, if they don't get it, on 4th down as well.
Burgess definitely can throw the football, and we've seen Nassie, one of his favorite targets. And on that play, fortunate for the Riots that they did get that good pass rush, because they had single coverage on Nassie, and Burgess was looking that way, just never had time to set his feet and throw the ball.
They had 5 receivers out in patterns, did the Trojans. They were looking to flood some zones, but it never materialized. Drew Hughes coming in from his middle linebacker position. Toms is back in the lineup. Okay. 3rd and 16. Double slots again. True goes in motion. Burgess to throw. Gets rid of it. Deep down the field. Nasty streaking out and is just overthrown. And Burgess paid the price as he got leveled as he released the football.
Now, a very interesting call here now by the Trojans. Of course, having the ball right about the 42-yard line, 4th down, 38 seconds to go.
It looks like Coach Agresti's going to punt.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Just pin the Riots. Right now, if you're the Thornton Academy Trojans, you have to feel very fortunate the way you've played, only going into halftime down by 3 points.
And South Portland comes out thinking they're going for it, and they're playing defense and sending no one back to receive the punt. They're not taking any chances. And Thornton thinking, Brian Harvey, you give him room. Burgess outkicks the coverage. That'll go way through the end zone. And that'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. And South Portland, with 30 seconds to go, probably will just take a handoff and head to the locker room up 3 and have to be very excited and impressed about their performance. But only up 3 points against the powerful offense of Thornton. They still got to come out here in the second half and play some big football.
And both teams really not doing a good job this evening of taking care of that football. Of course, Thornton Academy turning things over, giving the Riots good field position, and South Portland giving it right back to the Trojans.
And they really dodged a bullet on that last one. A fumble on 1st down, giving Thornton excellent field position at the 35. And the handoff goes to Lawson. No gain on the play.
Stop by the middle of the Thornton line. No gain on the play, 2nd and 10.
Farrell making the stop for Thornton Academy. And Harvey walks to the sideline, and I do believe that will be the last play here in the first half. And if you're listening, hope you enjoyed the turnovers, because 7 of them committed here in the first half. But the Red Riots have a 9-6 lead over the favorite in Western A, the 2-0 Thornton Academy Golden Trojans.
Near the gate. Also, 50-50 day.
As both teams head to the locker room, we'll take a break. We're back after this. You're listening to All Sports 1440 and watching on CTV 30. A very bizarre first half in the fact that all the turnovers and only 15 points total scored.
People will ask, how can a game, 3rd game of the year, be considered a big game? And in this situation right now, South Portland with 1 loss, if they were to come up, hold on to this game this evening, it would give Thornton Academy their first loss. But most importantly, at the end of the season, in the tie-breaking situation, they'd have the advantage with the head-to-head confrontation.
And it would certainly throw things upside down in Western A, because that would put South Portland with a good shot at getting in that 1, 2, 3 position and maybe getting home field advantage in the first 2 playoff games. And Thornton Academy, most people thought, would breeze through the season until they got to maybe 7th or 8th week with the Massabesic Biddeford matchups. And the Red Riots get through this one 2-1. They really have a nice couple of games and look forward to playing the Biddeford Tigers. That'll be their big game mid-season. And last year, South Portland incurred the 3 losses to Lawrence, Thornton, and Biddeford. And as I looked over the schedule, I was thinking that would be the same 3 places. They'd run into trouble again this year, and really thought they should have beat Lawrence in that first game, as I did last year. But they lost that one, and now with Thornton and Biddeford on the schedule, this could be a big, big win for them confidence-wise and, of course, you know, in the playoff picture.
Well, when one of the top teams, top dog, if you will, wants to come into your backyard, try to take the game away from you right now, they're just saying, no way, boys. They're playing a real solid game here this evening as far as forcing the turnovers. And I would hope and expect, really, both teams to come out and show that they're much better football teams and they're able to execute better than what we saw in the first half. From a fan standpoint, I certainly hope that that does happen in the second half.
Great crowd on hand. Thornton is back on the field, loosening up. A very extended halftime. We'd like to welcome Our listeners on All Sports 1440 and also doing a simulcast this evening with CTV 30 of Saco and Old Orchard. Thornton and South Portland have played some dandies last season. Thornton coming back again. They trailed in that one, and they came back to win 14-13, scoring the touchdown in the second half and getting the extra point, 2-point conversion, and holding on at the end to win by the narrow margin of 14-13. And of course, South Portland lost to Lewiston last year here at George Martin Memorial Field. Thornton Academy went on to the finals and got trounced by the Biddeford Tigers, finishing up the season at 9-2. Both losses coming at the hands of the state champions, Biddeford Tigers. And that matchup a couple weeks away, South Portland and Biddeford. It's here in South Portland. And if South Portland continues on this path, you would think they have a shot. Biddeford down just a little bit this year, but I know one kid, their big quarterback, Randy Pettit, will have a lot to say in that one. He is really turning out to be a tremendous, tremendous quarterback.
He's very big and very agile.
And he certainly can run the football, and he's no slouch in the passing department either. And Biddeford really coming on with that big win over Massabesic last week. The Mustangs now a little bit shocked and will be without the services of their tailback, Chris Noble, one of the better players in the state and maybe a possible Fitzpatrick winner candidate. And he's down now, and Massabesic will have to recover and find some answers. They hope Noble can come back before the end of the season, but they're not sure at this point.
They were saying dislocated fibula, and when they asked Noble, he said he felt he'd be out 2 to 5 weeks. I'd have to think with a dislocation in that area, it's going to be closer to the 5 weeks. 2 would be awfully quick to come back after that type of injury.
Very, very long halftime, and finally the quad captains from both teams shaking hands at midfield, and so Portland received the second half kickoff as they lead by 3. 2-yard run by Tim Lawson, and the extra point kick by Ben Blackwood gave them the 7-0 lead early in the first quarter with only 9:48. And then right behind that, the bad snap, the punt rolling out of the back of the end zone, that coming with 1 minute and 42 seconds to play in the first quarter. And then Thornton Academy coming back with a strong pass play, 17-yard pass from Burgess to Nassie. Extra point attempt failed, and that's where we stand, 9-6, as Ryan True now sets up to kick it away, and the second half begins. Deep drive, and that sends Lessa back to his 12-yard line, right up the middle again, finds a seam, and gets it out to the 40-yard line, brought down by kicker Ryan True once again.
My goodness, Lessa, after he broke by that line of containment, broke it to the left. He had the right side, Jay, wide open.
Oh, the Red Riots with excellent field position will start first down and 10 at their own 40.
And really, South Portland has to be saying to themselves right now, if we want to win this football game, we have to do something offensively. Not able to move the ball against the Trojans in the first half.
Handoff goes to Lawson. He's met right at the line of scrimmage, and he'll pick up maybe a yard.
DeRocha, Hedieris, just to name a couple. Close to a half a dozen white jerseys down there on Lawson.
That'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Harvey brings them out, sends Story to the far side, double tight ends with Roediger and Crosby. Fakes, looking out, pressure, fires out in the flat for Patrick Toms, and Toms, I don't know, did he get it? Yes, a great catch by the fullback, Patrick Toms. Diving catch as he slid to the ground and able to keep it off the grass and records the reception. Gain of 7 on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd and 2.
And Harvey does a nice job that time because Aaron Knox from the left defensive end spot came slicing in, and he was in hot pursuit. Harvey on the run, throwing off his back foot, and a nice diving catch by Toms.
Big 3rd down play. The ball at South Portland's 48-yard line. Red Riots come out, double tight ends once again in the eye. Harvey barking out the signals, fakes, drops back to pass. Pressure coming in, lets it fly deep for Roediger. He's getting there, but just can't quite catch up to it.
Jason Boudreau puts a big hit on Harvey just as he releases the football. And man, that thing was thrown out there, just out of the reach of Roediger.
And it really looked like I thought Roediger was going to catch up to that ball.
It almost looked as though at the last moment, instead of stretching his hands outward to try and go to the football, they went out to each side.
So South Portland will be forced to punt it away. The Thornton defense has held. Blackwood stands back at his own 35. Low snap, gets it up, a low kick. Line drive, but good bounce. It keeps rolling and rolling, and it'll be down at the 25-yard line of Thornton Academy.
And he was forced to kick that ball very quickly for the reason of Greg Lamar once again breaking right over the middle, putting some good pressure on that punter. And Thornton Academy now getting the ball just over the 25-yard line.
Let's see if they made the offensive adjustments at halftime.
About a pound to stick them on each ball carrier's hands is what they would need.
1st and 10. Handoff goes to True. He breaks into the secondary, still on his feet, all the way into South Portland territory, down to the 45-yard line.
Once again, lowering his shoulders right about the 40, taking the tackler on, head on, and picking up another 12 yards after that initial hit.
First down and 10, Thornton Academy. Doyen comes to the near side. Handoff to Boudreau, breaking into the secondary. Huge hole, and he'll get 14 yards.
Going with the trap blocking this time to the right side. Boudreau taking the ball down to the right flat. And a nice job by Dave Nassie out there blocking in on the corner. 2 plays, 2 first downs for Thornton Academy.
And the Trojans come out with their running game in gear. Big chunks of real estate. Doyen again to the near side, Nassie to the far. Handoff goes to True up the middle. Not much there, but Ryan True lowers the shoulder and pounds forward for a couple.
Straight power football. Straight on blocking, just trying to punch one right over the middle. And South Portland equal to the task and stopping the Trojans for a very short gain.
That'll bring up a 2nd and 8 now. Mercia comes to the near side. Nassie to the far. Burgess calling the signals, looking out over the defense. Straight drop. Fires out in the flat, and the ball, that official not sure. Now he's saying yes, a catch. And Nassie one more time.
He started to say yes, and then it looked like he was going to go incomplete. Nassie getting down low on both knees, getting, most importantly, his arms down on the ground and cradling the football. And they're a couple of yards shy of that first down marker.
Great job again, Nassie with the reception. He has 4 now on the evening. 3rd and 2. Ryan True, nothing there. Roediger wraps him up and hauls him down for a yard loss. No blocking on that right side that time. It looked like the blocking scheme was incorrect for that play, the way it was designed.
Someone definitely missed an assignment, Jay, because the Trojans were running right off tackle with True, and Roediger coming in from his left defensive end spot, untouched.
Loss of yard, it'll bring up a 4th down and 4 now. Thornton has moved the ball down the field, but now looking at a big 4th down play. Mercia comes to the near. Stetson to the far. Burgess to throw. Fires out, got Nassie again. 10 yards, he's still going. Doesn't want to go down, and they finally blow the whistle. Forward progress stop, but Dave Nassie is the go-to guy, and he picks up 12 yards on that play.
Nassie running a streak up the field and then stopping it short. Of course, that drives the cornerback. Most importantly, goes about 4 yards beyond the first down marker, and then Burgess sets up, throws a strong one out there, and a first down for the Trojans. And this is the area that they have had difficulty in pushing one into the end zone. They were able to move the football, but now we're getting so close to that red zone.
They are in the red zone, inside the 20 now, ball at the 18. And Thornton Academy trailing 9-6, 7:20 to play, third quarter. Mercier in the backfield, now comes in motion to the near side, checked by Story. Ryan True jumps into the secondary, and a quick 5 or 6 for Ryan True. A nice move at the line of scrimmage, jumped over tackler Chadburn.
The defensive front of South Portland staying down low and creating almost a hurdle, but True was able to get over that line and turn that into very close to a 5-yard gain. But right now the Trojan offense up front getting the job done.
Come out with a strong left formation. Chris Mercier in the left, now goes in motion, and they go back to True again in the middle. Ryan True picking his way through the middle. And he'll get 3 yards. Jason Woodrow with a big block on his man, staying with him all the way to the end of the play. Thornton Academy staying with a power game, and you would have to think that they keep sending Mercier to the near side of the field 2 times. They're watching South Portland to see if they're keeping a close eye on him, because if they don't, you would think Burgess would fake the handoff, roll out this way, and look for Chris Mercier in the corner of the end zone.
And he's got single coverage out here with Story.
Mercier and Nassie both come to the near side of the field, both with single coverage. Handoff up the middle, a flag comes in, way over from the line judge, and how could he make a... You would think he's calling an offsides of some sorts, because that's the only thing he could see from so far out. Check the flag. Legal procedure against Thornton Academy, and it'll be interesting to see what South Portland will do, because unless that's an automatic penalty, because that would set them up with a 4th and 2, and they can move them back 5 and give them 3rd down over. Thornton backing way up. Well, it's only the 5-yard penalty. Looked like they were getting ready to mark off 15. Third down now and 9 after they mark off the 5 yards. Sean Stetson, tall, lanky, split end, comes to the near side. Nassie goes to the far. Now True in motion. Burgess right over the middle. Got his man Mercier. Mercier can't break the tackle. He'll be very close, though, to the first down. What a nice play that was. Burgess firing the ball right in.
I see a maroon and gold jersey down there signaling first down from the sidelines, but I believe he's calling that one from his heart. Appears they're going to be, they are going to measure now, Jay, so.
Pulling the chains, and it looks like it's going to be a half a length of the football over, and Thornton has the first down, and the first Thornton player to make a reception other than Dave Nassie tonight. Mercier with a big 3rd down catch. Good for 9 and a little, just enough. And Thornton Academy now with it, 1st and goal to go once again from that 9-yard line. That's where they were last time, and South Portland held on downs. Strong left again, Mercier in that slot position. Now he comes in motion. Back to Ryan True on the right side. Got a little bit of room. He'll get 3.
What the Trojans are doing is sending Mercier to the left side of the field in motion. That brings Story out, and it forces one of the linebackers to rotate over, so it does spread that defense for the Riots out a little bit, and then, of course, they run to the opposite side, pick up some decent yardage.
They could fire that pass laterally, that quick out pat, and then see Mercier work one-on-one against Story. 2 fine athletes going one-on-one, but Mercier would have a whole lot of room out there. Again in motion is Mercier. Right side, Burgess to Boudreau, and nothing.
Well, folks, that just hasn't been there when they've gotten down close, and I think the Trojans right now would be well advised to try and go to the outside of the field and either throw the football or run Burgess wide or true, because inside South Portland is just stacking it up.
Brian Thompson now, number 35, the sophomore fullback, will check into the lineup, brings the play to Burgess, and a big, big third down play and goal from what looks like the 6-yard line from our vantage point here. Power backfield for the Trojans, double tight ends. Burgess fakes, rolls out, now he's gonna run. Tries to get to the corner, and the Trojans saying touchdown, and it is Thornton Academy. Andy Burgess rolled out to the right side, lowered his shoulder way on that far corner of the field, and he must have just caught the pylon on the corner, and he gets in to give Thornton Academy a 12-9 lead.
Great effort. They pull Fisk, the left guard, fake to the right, fake to the left, excuse me, and Burgess bootlegs it to the right and somehow dives and gets into the end zone. And once again, we're going to try a PAT.
Burgess the holder, Boudreau the kicker. And I don't know, folks. If I'm Thornton Academy, I'm going for 2 every single play. Last week, Wolfhard had problems. This week, it's Jason Boudreau getting the call, and that seems like a job nobody wants for Thornton Academy.
And the board says 18-9. Unless I'm missing something, it should be 13-9.
No, how about 12, Mark?
12-9, excuse me.
It's 12-9. Sounds like an NFL game. Bunch of field goals.
Now they have it corrected.
So with 4:09 to play, third quarter, our score. Thornton Academy 12, South Portland 9. Ryan True now will set up to kick it away again. Thornton Academy with their first lead of the night, but by only 3 points, and Ben Blackwood could be a factor in this one. The kick fielded by Lawson on the far side, comes right up the middle and gets it out over the 35-yard line.
And now the Riots offense, they have to be able to answer now, because it would appear the way the Trojan offense ended the first half and the way they started here in the second half, they are going to be able to move the football. And very important for the Riots not to let this thing slip away. They have to keep the pressure on the Trojan defense.
Harvey brings them out, sends James Story to the near side of the field, drops back, rolling out right. They got containment on him, drops it over the middle, looking for Patrick Toms, incomplete. Chad Hedieris with the coverage on Toms, and Harvey, good containment on the outside by
Alex Harder was out there.
On the defensive end position, Harder made him stop and look to cut it up inside. Harvey over talking with Coach Wolfgram, runs back to the huddle. Sends Jason Flagg to the near side, Story to the far. The Riots in the eye in the backfield. Harvey dropping back with pressure, and he's going to be sacked. John Verrill getting help from the grass because Harvey, trying to avoid Verrill's rush, moved to the left and stumbled over his own feet, and Verrill there to cover up and record the sack.
Verrill comes right up the gut for the Trojans, and as you said, unable was Harvey to elude him. Also coming in on the left side was Alex Harder. And now, South Portland, third down and a mile.
Roughly 22 yards at their own 24. Harvey's still dangerous. They come out in the eye. Counterplay inside to Story. Story dancing into the secondary. He'll be hauled down after a gain of 5, and that'll bring up a 4th and 16. And punting situation for the Red Riots.
Chad Hedieris and Dave Nassy right there to bring him down well short of the first down.
So South Portland a little conservative on that 3rd and long. They try the counter play, trying to catch Thornton Academy off guard, looking all pass. And gets them 5 yards, but still a long way away. And Ben Blackwood, once again, will punt it away. Mercier and Doyon back, and they need to cheat up a little bit if they want to catch that one in the air. High snap, good kick again, and it'll bounce in front of the Trojans and take a big roll. Both guys very reluctant to come up this evening and make the catch. I don't know if they're worried about the lights here on a Friday night game, but first 2 games of the season, they were up making the catch, and tonight they've stood there and watched it bounce in front of them.
By this time, they've seen him kick the ball 3 or 4 times. I feel that they're way too far back. They ought to move it up about 10 yards, catch that thing on the fly, at least a fair catch. That time, they lost close to 10 yards on the roll.
They'll set up 1st and 10 at their own 31, leading now 12-9. A minute 50 to play in the 3rd quarter. Hand off to True. He'll get a couple.
Ryan True on the run. Stopped by Pat Batchelor.
Batchelor makes the tackle for the Red Riots. And South Portland now really defensively, the weight has shifted to their shoulders. They got to come up with a stop. Now they're in the position, if they give up a touchdown, Thornton could go up by the 2 scores. One being only 3. But you would think that Thornton would go for 2 and maybe try to put them up by 11 points rather than the 10 if they were to score. Burgess, hand off to Boudreau. Flag comes in late, and Boudreau squirms forward for a gain of 2.
Once again, in the area, you would think of offside or procedure.
Very late flag again on that type of call. It's coming very, very late.
Now with the procedure against Thornton, you'd think South Portland would decline that penalty and force Thornton into a 3rd and 8.
Coach Wolfgram motioning that to his defense, so they decline the penalty, brings up 3rd and 7 yards. Mercier comes to the near side of the field. Nassie goes to the far. Dave Lessa has sole coverage over here with Mercier. Burgess fakes, drops back to pass, lofts it down the middle, got his man Nassie. Nassie with a bunch, and he doesn't like to go down. What a tough kid. They still haven't got him down, and they're pulling and pulling, and that should be a flag, and it will be. 15 yards against the Red Riots, James Story.
And that's just not smart football there. The whistle had blown, and Story still attempted to pull the ball away, and that's going to cost the Red Riots.
Cost him 15 yards. Dave Nassie, just tremendous evening on offense, and after he makes the catch, he's dangerous with the ball running and very tough to bring down. He keeps fighting for extra yardage and good center of gravity. He won't go down, and South Portland very frustrated that he wouldn't go down, and they kept ripping at him well after the whistle, and the flag came in. A well-thrown flag, by the way. The official threw it right at the back of the head, hitting James Story in the helmet. And they mark off 15. That'll put Thornton Academy with a 1st down and 10 all the way down to the Red Riot 30-yard line. Burgess fakes, goes on the option, cuts it up inside, and hauled down from behind by Patrick Toms.
And that's really not the first time, but we have not seen that play run by the Trojans that much this evening with the fake to the fullback and then Burgess keeping the ball on the outside. In the first 2 weeks of the season, that's something that they've been able to do very effectively against the opposition. But South Portland has been able to contain Burgess this evening.
That concludes the 3rd quarter of play here in South Portland. Thornton Academy has come back to take the 12-9 lead. We'll take a break. We're back after this. Back with you at George Martin Memorial Field as we start the fourth and final quarter. Thornton Academy with a 2nd down and 8. Burgess goes to Ryan True, trying to bounce outside, not much there. And South Portland doing an outstanding job at bringing Ryan True down. That'll bring up 3rd and long now. And Mark, you were mentioning during our commercial break that the biggest thing about that penalty against Story is it puts Thornton now in 4-down territory. You tack on those 15 yards and it puts them down deep enough that they can go for it on 4th down.
Right now they would have had the ball at about the 45-yard line, but you tack on the 15, pushes it further down the field, and now if they can get the ball close to the sticks, really they have 2 cracks at it here. 4-down territory for sure for the Trojans.
3rd and 8. Dangerous Dave Nassie to the near side of the field. Burgess fakes, looking for him, lofting it out, and wide open is Nassie, but the ball overthrown, trying to use that timing pattern, lofting the ball up, and Burgess had to let go of it a little sooner than I think he wanted to, and the ball falls incomplete.
And that was because of Dan Roediger, who got in the backfield, put some pressure on Burgess, and the corner had come up, playing right on Nassie. He blew by him to the outside, was wide open running down the right side of the field, but the ball just slightly overthrown, and now Thornton Academy, 4th and about 8.
I don't know, dangerous Dave, dependable Dave. Nassie, 6 receptions on the night. 4th down and 8. South Portland crowd tries to encourage the defense. Burgess, straight drop. Pressure coming in. Decides to run it. Got some room. Down into South Portland territory, inside the 20. He'll have the 1st down.
And Burgess picks up a block from dependable Dave, or whatever you want to say, down the field, which assures that 1st down pickup. Nassie had run the ball, run a pattern down the field, hooked beyond the 1st down marker, and when Burgess cut it on the right side, he stayed in front of the corner, and that's a big 1st down pickup for Thornton Academy.
Certainly is. Burgess has been there when they needed him on that rollout, making the right decision to run it rather than throw it. Had the room, lowered the shoulder, and picked up the 1st down. Now we have a officials timeout. And Thornton Academy now really with their 2nd consecutive sustained drive, really getting the offense going, and whatever Coach Agresti had to say at the halftime, it appears at this point of the game it has worked. Nassie and Mercia go to the far side. Boudreau and True in the eye. Up the middle, Boudreau with some room, and closed quickly. Looked like he had a lot of room, but there to make the play is Batchelor and Hughes.
Once again, that trap play with some good positive yardage for the Trojans.
Gain of nearly 5. Ball now at the 13 of the Red Riots. Stetson and Mercier now go to the far side of the field. Burgess calling out the signals. Goes to Boudreau again, into the secondary. Dives forward, and he'll be very close to a Thornton Academy 1st down. Looks like he'll be just a yard short. Boudreau really racking up some big numbers here tonight and last week as well, rushing for over 100 yards. Of course, the bulk of that coming on the 75-yard touchdown run, but he has been a very, very big part of this offense and a last-minute replacement for Thornton Academy's expected starter, Jared Trudeau, out for the year with the knee. Boudreau has been there for the Trojans. 3rd and 1, Boudreau again. Off the right side, not much happening. And let's see where they spot him. I don't think he had it.
He may have even lost a little bit there. I believe they're marking it right at the 10-yard line.
That time Boudreau would have been well advised to see that it was clogged up and break it outside. He just ran right in the back of his own offensive lineman as they had no movement on the South Portland defensive front. Great job up front by the Red Riots. Buck, Batchelor, Roediger, Chadburn, Kevin Ryan, and of course linebacking core of Toms and Hughes. And Thornton Academy has used a timeout. 8:58 to play, and of course, maybe the play of the game right here. 4th down and a long 3. And South Portland has held before down in this area. Earlier in the game, Thornton had it 3rd and goal. 3rd down and 2 yards, and they held on consecutive running plays. And right here, if they can hold, they have a great chance to get back in this game and stay in this game, because you fall down by the 2 scores with this little amount of time left, really could be a long evening trying to get back in it.
You know, the Riots are going to be really stuffing up the inside once again for the run. I'd like to see the Trojans air the ball out. They're drawing single coverage out there. And the corners for South Portland have to do a good job now of staying with the receivers, giving their front 4 the chance to get in on Burgess.
South Portland's crowd comes alive. Thornton Academy comes out with a power backfield again. Double tight ends. Burgess rolling out. Fires on the flat. He's got his man wide open. Ryan True, the catch. Touchdown. Ryan True with a catch and got in the end zone.
Very well designed play. Thornton Academy comes out to their power backfield, has the Riots thinking run. A great fake to Boudreaux. And True runs through the line onto the left flat, and a nice soft toss out there by Burgess. True breaks the end zone, and now the Trojans go up 18-9. And I hate to tell you, Jay, but they're lining up for the PAT.
They just won't give up on this thing. We're gonna do it till we get it right.
Patience is a virtue.
Good snap, good hold, and guess what? The kick is good, and that brings the Thornton crowd on its feet, going nuts on the other side.
That was a character drive right there by the Trojans. They really have done the job offensively here in the second half. A big, big change, of course, controlling that line of scrimmage and able to mix run with pass effectively. That was a big score. South Portland still plenty of time, Jay. Close to 9 minutes.
Well, with 8:51 to play, our score now, Thornton Academy 19, South Portland 9. Jay Harper and Marc Paquette with you. Working the camera this evening on our simulcast, the very dependable, likable, lovable Mark Pickard and Dennis Avery. Tony Ryan in the booth with us. And create a very interesting evening. The second year in a row we've done the simulcast. Of course, our listeners who don't know, we do Thornton football and also South Portland. So it's a tough game here, trying to be very biased for both clubs. Lessa fields it, finds a seam, and again, a fine return for the Red Riots. So Lessa gets it out to the 38-yard line.
The Riots return team all evening has been setting their offense up with some good field position, once again at the 38.
Burrell and Thompson on the tackle for the Trojans.
Big series here for the Riots. Have to make something happen offensively.
And they have to in a hurry. They cannot really afford a long, drawn-out drive. Down by 10 points. Pass out in the flat, the screen set up. Toms with a lot of room in the middle. Weaving his way downfield, he'll have 14 yards and a South Portland first down. Brought down by DeRocher and Kyle Shaw. The other thing about going for the 1 point, if you're Coach Agresti, wouldn't you like to see the 2 and get them up by more? Because now, I mean, again, South Portland scores. If they want to be conservative, they just kick the extra point. Blackwood can kick the ball quite a ways. He's very capable kicker. And, you know, field goal with tight. If they just go for the extra point, they go for 2, a field goal could win it. We'll see if it's a factor or not. South Portland with it, first down and 10 at the Thornton 47. Harvey straight drop, looking downfield, firing out. He's got Story there, wide open, makes the catch, cuts inside, and he gets it all the way down to the 19-yard line.
Story runs a nice little route to the left side of the field. Once again, play action, and really a nice pass by Harvey, right on the money. And South Portland here in 2 plays. Now they have the ball inside the 20. Haven't even taken a minute off the clock, Jay. 7:59.
43 yards in 2 plays. And if you're a South Poland fan, you're asking yourself, where has this been all night? Harvey again, dropping back, pressure coming in, another screen set up. Toms is there, breaks 1 tackle, stays on his feet beautifully. Got some room across the field, down to the goal line. And he'll come up at the 1-yard line. What a great run by Patrick Toms.
Toms could have been brought down at the 20-yard line. He breaks a tackle at the 20, another one at the 15, and gets the ball down about a yard shy, where South Portland will have 4 cracks at the end zone.
So this one appears well from over. Harvey back in the huddle after conferring with Coach Wolfgram. Brings him out in the strong right formation. Kevin Ryan in the power right position. They go to Lawson, the deep back, powers his way, touchdown. Harvey again with his celebration as he runs back, going nuts. He's pumped up.
Well, you said they had to do it quick, and that's quick.
This team is very, very good in that 2-minute offense, and that's virtually what that was right there. And still 7:26 to play in the contest, and Blackwood lining up the extra point try, and they'll try to pull within 3, it appears. O'Neal, the holder, movement. The kick is up and good, but that one will be a do-over. Not the kind I like in my golf game. Of course, I missed that putt. That's a do-over. The fly came by or somebody moved, so I do it over. This one's good, but they're going to force him to do it over on the offsides. Chadburn was late getting into the huddle, and then he got set and moved just before the snap. Actually, Batchelor, it was number 62. So the move back 5 yards. Blackwood will try it again. He sets up from his own 15, and that's virtually a 25-yard extra point try. Good snap, good kick, and another flag comes flying in. And do you see the foot I'm talking about?
He does have a strong leg.
He boomed that through from 25 yards out. So again, the decisions to try the 1 point rather than the 2 could come back to haunt Thornton Academy, or at least make this game a potential overtime, because penalty against Thornton, or maybe it's against South Portland.
Against the Trojans for too many men on the field, it does appear.
And you would think they just keep the extra point, which was good, and they do. And South Portland with a brilliant 62-yard drive in 4 plays. They are right back in it, and this has turned out to be a terrific, terrific contest. A much better played second half after the 8 turnovers in the first, but a seesaw battle, and one that's still long from over.
I would say you're correct on that one, Mon ami. 7:26 here to go. And now the Riots defense, if they can come out and get that ball back from the Trojans. Plenty of time for Harvey and company to strike once again.
That drive took 1 minute and 22 seconds. And going back to 1989 or 90, I'm not exactly sure what year that was, that Thornton came back from the 21-point deficit to take the 22-21 lead. Just a brilliant comeback, incredible. And then South Portland, with about 1 minute 22 left on the clock, marched the length of the field and scored to come back and win it. Hold on.
Of course, having assessed that penalty on the Trojans now, the Riots may be able to pin them deep.
Low lining, booming kick, and True tries to pick it up. And now comes up the middle with a head of steam. And boy, he almost broke that thing, but he gets it out to the 22-yard line.
And How many times do you see it when the player receives the ball, drops it, and then the coverage is too far down the field, and he almost broke that. Fine shoestring tackle. I didn't get the number of the Riot. And now Thornton Academy is going to attempt to show the strength of their team, and that being right up front, controlling the line of scrimmage.
Well, now the weight falls all back on the Thornton offense. Boudreaux up the middle with some room. Flag comes in, and the officials now becoming flag happy. They started to pull that out of their rear pocket and saying, boy, this feels good. I'm going to continue to do this. And you would think that's in the holding area. No, face mask penalty against the Red Riots.
Well, that one got by me. I didn't see that face mask.
Maybe it was off the ball carrier. Could have even been on another player on a block or something, as it didn't appear that Boudreaux did get grabbed in the face mask. A tough break for the Red Riots. Their second big 15-yard penalty on Thornton drives. So that gives Thornton Academy a lot of breathing room right now, as they were deep in their own territory, and that'll march it all the way out to the 42-yard line. And Thornton will have the first down and 10. Clock moves under 7 minutes. Thornton leading 19-16. Handoff goes to True. Looks outside, gets going. Carries a couple of tacklers down the field. He'll get 6 yards.
Most importantly for the Trojans, running right down that sideline, he's able to stay in bounds, which keeps that clock moving.
Lessa and Roediger make the stop for the Red Riots. They really need a defensive answer, and they have to hold the Trojans to keep it within one score and a chance for their offense to have enough time for the winning touchdown. South Portland coming in 1-1 after losing the opening week to Lawrence, bouncing back and crushing Westbrook last week. The Trojans squeaked by Oxford Hills and hammered Sanford. And this in week 3 has been a dandy. Ryan True straight up the middle, and he'll only get about a yard.
Just shy of midfield.
Lessa and Hughes in on the stop for the Red Riots, and a good job by Batchelor to block things up in the middle. Took care of his. And this now with a 3rd and 3. Ball just shy of midfield will be the big play in this series, because Thornton, I don't think, will have the nerve to go for it on 4th down with the ball right at the midfield mark. Burgess fakes. No, he goes to Boudreaux. A great fake carried out by quarterback Burgess, and that afforded Jason Boudreaux to ramble for 4 yards and the Thornton Academy first down.
They go back to the play that has been successful for them this evening, the little trap block up the middle with Boudreaux, the fullback. And the initial hit was about a yard shy of that first down, but he was able to keep his legs going, spin around, fall forward for that first down. And I've heard your brother, who coaches EL, say a good back always falls forward. That's what Jason Boudreaux did on that play.
And that's certainly what running back coaches try to teach their young runners. You always go forward. And Boudreaux doing a great job there, getting the first down, keeps the clock going. 5 minutes now left in the contest. 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Ryan True. Kevin Ryan right there for the Red Riots. And then he gets support. But nothing happening there, as it appears True's having a little problems getting going.
It appeared on that play there with the lead blocker kicking the man to the outside. The place to go would have been cut it back in, lower the shoulders, and get what you can. But he continued to the outside. Really nothing there for no gain.
And that's what you miss in a Kevin Massey, his great cut back running. And tonight that hasn't been there. And Thornton still moving the ball nicely. 2nd and 10. Massey to the near side, sole coverage. Burgess rolls out, and now he's going to run. He's got some pull blockers. He's got to get the speed going. Roediger with a great job at grabbing and then getting him out of bounds to stop the clock as well. Great pursuit from the backside by Dan Roediger.
Trojans go with the bootleg right, pulling the left guard, Fisk, to get out in front of things. And it appeared they had a wall of white here, but really, from the point of the fake, very slow in developing, and some great pursuit by the Riots to stop that thing. Only a 4-yard pickup. And more importantly, Burgess out of bounds, stopping the clock.
4:07 remaining. A big 3rd and 6. Nassie comes to the near side. Chris Mercier to the far. Burgess, straight drop. Pressure coming in. It's blocked, knocked down by Roediger.
I have no idea where he was throwing that football, because I'll tell you, Nassie was very well covered out here on the left side of the field.
Thornton has gone to the well one too many times, I would think, looking for Dave Nassie. That time they should have gone to the young sophomore and maybe tried a route with Chris Mercier.
Well, Flagg was right up on Nassie from the line of scrimmage, and he pushed him to the outside. He had him covered like a blanket.
2 great plays in a row by Dan Rudy Roediger. And now Thornton Academy will punt it away. Burgess stands at his own 45. The dangerous Harvey and Story back to receive. A good spiraling kick. And Story bobbles it. The Trojans got it.
2 mistakes on that play. Fair catching the ball inside the 10-yard line at the 6. Should have let that one roll to the end zone. And then fumbling the ball. And was that Mercier right there to jump on it for the Trojans? 2 Trojans there. And oh my, what a huge turnover by the Red Riots.
Not sure who got it. I don't know if Mercier did or not. He's not getting a lot of congratulations coming off the field, so I don't think he pounced on it. But again, as you said, really, you don't fair catch inside your 10, and then if you do fair catch, you got to hold on. And Story didn't quite get to the ball, tried to make the shoestring catch out in front of him. 1st and goal for the Trojans. Ryan True up the middle, touchdown, and he wasn't touched.
And although still over 3 minutes, you would certainly think that that's going to put a little icing on it for the Trojans.
Well, I won't say it when any team is quarterbacked by Brian Harvey, because he moved him down in 1:22 to get him a score last time. If he does that again, an onside kick, and they got a minute and a half for another chance.
That's a very good point.
So still enough time for the South Portland offense and the caliber of quarterback Harvey. Boudreaux will try it one more time. The Trojans looking to do something they have yet to do this season. Kick 2 in a row. He booms it, but it's wide left. And it's drawing chuckles from this side of the field, and you know the Thornton fans on the other side are saying, what is going on with this kicking game? Where's a Min Ho Choi when you need him?
Lives on the wrong side of the river, I'm afraid.
If that young man doesn't go on to play collegiate football Division I and a kicker somewhere, something's wrong with the scouting in the NCAA. That kid can flat out kick the football.
Well, what's amazing with him is he can go right or left-footed and still drop the ball about the 10 or the 5-yard lines. I've seen him on many occasions go to the opposite foot.
And last year, of course, opting to go out for football entirely and give up soccer, a great soccer player, and did his work, and now he's playing wide receiver, and I heard he caught a long touchdown pass in one of their games already this season.
Well, from what I understand, he has been an integral part of their offense.
He's a big kid, 6 feet, goes about $185, $190. True will kick it off. The Trojans with the 25-16 lead. Short kick fielded by Toms. Looking for some room to the outside. And he's brought down by Mercier and Ryan True. Ryan True has done a terrific job on the kickoff team. Kicks it off and makes the tackle 9 out of 10 times. Or 4 out of 5. The gum chew thing, I don't know. Which has it been? 4 out of 5, I think. It's
Sounds good.
The only tackler Coach Agresti will let make the play. 3:20 to play in the contest. The Trojans up 25-16. Touchdown and the 2-point conversion will bring them within 1. Harvey, straight drop. Nobody open. Now fires, got a man wide open as amazingly coverage Christian Dolan fell down in that left flag all by himself, but unfortunately the ball was thrown to the inside and Flag couldn't get back to it, because if that's thrown right at Flag, that's 6 points.
And speaking of flag, there's one on the field, and I believe it's going to be against Thornton Academy.
We'll check the penalty. Very, very dangerous once again. The Thornton Academy secondary slipping on the somewhat slick turf. And you would think that's a personal foul type of play, and they'll march off 15. Jay Harper and Marc Paquette with you as you listen to WLPZ 1440, all sports, and it has been a dandy here in South Portland. And the Red Riots not going away yet.
Well, I didn't pick up the indication as to what the penalty was, a 15-yard variety. And that's right about where the ball would have been received.
Hadflag made the catch. 1st and 10 for the Red Riots. Harvey straight drop, fires a quick flat, Patton, and throws it a little short. And the intended receiver, James Story in your eyes, slips down.
We have to believe right now with South Portland going to play action that the Trojans aren't going to be buying into it. The linebackers, of course, dropping straight back. South Portland needing to throw the football with a little over 3 minutes to go here.
I guess it's kind of fitting in a way. After so many turnovers throughout this contest, we play a much better second half, but the key play is going to be the turnover. South Portland was getting the ball back and only down 3 points, and with 4 minutes plus to try to get the winning touchdown drive going. And Harvey airing it out for O'Neal, and that's overthrown.
2 men there for the Trojans, Shaw and Mercia.
O'Neal was behind him, though. He was open, the ball overthrown by about 5 yards, and now a 3rd and 10 for the Red Riots. But again, getting back to that, the very tough play and Story, fine evening again, offensively and defensively. That decision, the last second one, and he didn't quite get up close enough to the ball, and it hit off his fingertips, fumble, and Thornton was right there to pounce on it. Tough break for the Red Riots because they really played themselves a football game and had a chance to knock off these highly touted Golden Trojans. Story goes in motion to the far side. Harvey dropping back, looking out in the flat, fires for Story, incomplete. Coverage out there by Dave Nassie.
Pretty difficult to find an open receiver when the opposition knows you have to throw the football. Of course, they're dropping back. They're 4 linebackers into zone coverage. And on those last 3 attempts, very well covered out there in the secondary by the Trojans.
4th down and 10 now. This could be the last gasp for the Red Riots. Double tight end, Story in motion. Harvey dropping back all kinds of time, sets up the screen. Tom's there, and Tom's avoids 1, 2, and gets down, and he'll have the 1st down.
Have to check that flag out.
Flag on the far side of the field. I thought Jason Boudreau maybe had got blocked in the back there. He's tried to break up the screen, and he got a little bump on his backside. They let that one go, it appears.
Procedure against South Portland. So it's all for naught. They're going to be calling that one back.
Really, all in all, a very messy football game. All the turnovers in the first half, and now all the flags here in the second half. And that, very unfortunate for the Red Riots. Again, they pick up the 1st down, and now they have to go back and do it all over, and they look at 15 yards to get the 1st down, and the clock a factor. Every play that gives you that much less time, if you do convert an onside kick after scoring. South Portland travels to Edward-Little in what should be a very easy game for the Red Riots next week. But Edward-Little's a team that gets up for big games and does pull the upset. Pass intended for Roediger, overthrown, incomplete. And they'll turn the ball over on downs. Thornton Academy will take over at midfield with the 9-point lead and should be able to run the clock out on this one.
Roediger was breaking open at the 35-yard line, but the ball was overthrown. Great effort by Roediger, jumping up, trying to bring that one down. And now I'm afraid, as far as the Red Riots, it's elementary here. The Trojans just going to run this one out.
Looking at South Portland's schedule, of course, next Friday night, live from Auburn against the Red Eddies. Airtime 7:20, we hope. Burgess on the keeper. He'll get 15, 20, 25, 30, still going. South Portland trying to strip the football, and Burgess just keeps rambling. Gets 30 yards on the play.
All right, Jay, I'll say it. Where has that been all night?
Story, and basketball.
Well, I think the wind is out of the sails of the Red Riots, and
Certainly
a little
is.
bit of a letdown on that particular play. And of course, South Portland got to feel a little bit snake bitten. They had their chances here this evening and really didn't fully cash in. And then with the one last chance, you know, a chance for a last drive, the unfortunate miscue on the punt, and Thornton Academy with it at the 6, cash in immediately.
They have to feel good about the way their defense played overall this evening, because up against what was touted to be a very high-powered offense in the first half, shutting them down very effectively. Of course, here in the second half, Thornton Academy able to go on those 2 long drives that really broke the game open. Not broke the game open, but helped put the game in their court. And now finding the ball about the 20-yard line.
Timeout on the field. Our score, Thornton Academy 25, South Portland 16. Looking at Thornton Academy's schedule for next week, the Trojans host the Chevrolet Stags. 1:30 game at Hills Stadium. Thornton with it, first down and 10. True comes in motion. Counter play with Doyon. Doyon up the middle. He'll get 4. Brought down by big number 73, Scott Chadburn. And then back to South Portland's schedule. After every little next week, they play the Chevrolet Stags at Portland Stadium, a 1:30 game. And then Friday, October 7th, 7:30, homecoming versus the Biddeford Tigers. And you would think the Red Riots could take care of business the next 2 weeks. Come into that one 3-2, and really that the game of their season to try to get in that top 4 and home field advantage for the first round of the playoffs.
Well, they shouldn't have any problem getting pumped up for their homecoming game, seeing it's being played against the Tigers.
Well, we talked about all the great games between Thornton and South Portland here at this field. Well, the rivalry of South Portland-Biddeford is even bigger. And you know the Red Riots will be pumped for that one. And right now, Biddeford showing no signs of slacking off after another state championship. Thornton Academy has a couple of easy weeks in a row, really, for them, too. Cheverus, then Westbrook, and then it's Marshwood, Massabesic, Biddeford. Second down handoff to True. True finds a little bit of room in the middle, and South Portland again trying to strip football. Lessa, Hughes, O'Neill in on the stop for the Red Riots. And we're down to 1:40 to play in the contest. Third down and 6 now for the Trojans. Dependable Dave Nassy goes to the far side of the field. Christian Doyen, comes to the near side. Option play, pitch out to True. Got some room, jumps up, and nice tackle by James Story. And Ryan True showing that good athletic leaping ability. And had he landed cleanly, he probably had another 6 for himself.
Is that what we've decided on? Is it going to be dependable, Dave? Or?
Well, he's been there. You know, he's been that go-to guy, so dependable. I mean, you could even, you didn't even say the other one. Dynamite, Dave.
How about dependable / dangerous /
I will have to ask Dave on that one and see what he prefers. Is he like any of our 3? He'll probably tell us we're nuts on all 3. Just call him Dave Nassy, football player, period. But Dave was saying that he goes $1.75, not $1.65 before the game. And the program says $1.65, Dave, at least the one I got. But let's make note of that for all the viewers out there. Dave Nassy is 175 pounds, and he played every pound of that this evening. Pitch to True, got some room on the outside, cuts inside, touchdown number 3, Ryan True.
Showing some good acceleration after getting the pitch from Burgess. Some nice downfield blocking by the ends. Wide outs.
Well, this one will read much bigger, and this game was a lot closer than the final score will indicate. It looks somewhat impressive for the Golden Trojans, but they really had their hands full, and if it wasn't for one turnover, who knows? The Red Riots may have been able to pull off the big upset. We'll try the extra point one more time, and this one's blocked. You know, I think maybe it makes sense now that I think about it. Coach Agresti saving the 2-point tries for later in the season, doesn't want to give himself away when it really, really matters. He thinks he can get through these, even missing all the extra points, and so far he's been able to. We'll take a break. Our score, Thornton Academy, 31. South Portland, 16. You're listening to All Sports 1440 and watching on CTV 30. Harper and Marc Paquette back with you. And Thornton Academy has really taken the turnovers and able to run it up just a little bit. South Portland playing a very terrific football game here this evening, but turnovers eventually cost them, as it did Thornton in the first half. Ryan True, a busy man here in the second, kicking off, making tackles, running for touchdowns, and the young sophomores certainly putting up some impressive numbers. And you remember back to 5 years ago or so when one number 33, Art Laveras, started racking up touchdown after touchdown as a sophomore, and who knows, before Ryan True's over, it maybe make a run at, you would think, the unbreakable record of Art Laveras' touchdowns, but this kid's only a sophomore. He's got 4 or 5 already in this young season, and Laveras, I think, racked up 10 as a sophomore, and True has a shot at that. Just food for thought.
Just another weapon for the Trojans.
Back set. Harvey Crosby is complete. Second and 10.
Thornton Academy now just trying to hold on. South Portland one last chance. 12 seconds to play. Once again, the Red Riots traveling to Edward Little next week. Here the broadcast starting at 7:20 on All Sports 1440. Lawson on the draw, a lot of room in the secondary, look out. Lawson down the far sideline, and finally dragged down by Doyon. Clock stops with 3 seconds to go. He got it all the way down to the 25-yard line of Thornton Academy. Big run for Lawson.
Catching the Trojans off guard, obviously expecting pass. Lawson running to the outside, keeping those wheels a-churning. Finally brought down by Doyen at about the 26. One more chance for South Portland with 3 seconds remaining.
And I wouldn't blame them if they go for it. A chance to tack one on and make it look as close as it really was. Trying to make that score a little more respectable. And, of course, trying to keep your offense in tune. And in these situations, Harvey showed his ability to get him down the field when he had to. And that one 4-play, 62-yard drive and got them within 3. And then the Red Riot defense did hold. Big turnover on the punt. And that pretty much was it. South Portland really had set themselves up, though, to maybe pull off the upset. Trojans will move to 3-0. The Riots will fall to 1-2. Identical situation to last season. Both clubs achieving those marks after this one. Harvey sends O'Neill and Story to the near side. He rolls this way. Got plenty of time. Fires down over the middle as the clock goes down, and the ball is picked off. Hetty Harris pulls it away from Crosby and records the interception. And how fitting to end the game with a turnover. What do you think?
We've seen a few this evening, that's for sure.
I think we're in double figures now. Unbelievable. And Thornton Academy holds on for the 31-16 victory. And a good effort by the Trojans offense in the second half. We'll take a break, and for our TV viewers, we'll be back to pick our gutsy players of the game, sponsored by Wagner's Market, 188 Lincoln Street, Saco. And of course, you can see all the games on CTV 30, Sunday mornings, 10:30, and Wednesday evenings. And for the All Sports 1440 viewers, we'll take a commercial pause, and we'll come back to wrap up our broadcast. A very interesting simulcast this evening, and we managed to get through it. Unfortunately, the Red Riots don't have their way with the Golden Trojans as they fall 31-16. We'll take a break. We'll be back after this on All Sports 1440. Welcome back to George Martin Memorial Field. J. Harper and Marc Paquette. Our final score, Thornton Academy 31, South Portland 16. And my math has 11 turnovers total, and the game fittingly closes with the Chad Hedieris interception. Thornton Academy comes out with the victory, but it was ugly, and they certainly gave South Portland enough chances to win this game.
We've seen a few bakery games over the years here, and certainly this evening is one I've had my fill. If you love turnovers, folks, this was the game for you. Both teams handing the ball over to one another all evening long.
Some great performances, though, in the win for Thornton Academy. Of course, Andy Burgess, quarterback, a fine job once again running the football and finding his receivers, Dave Nassie, with all the catches. And then you got to like the performance of Ryan True, the sophomore. 3 touchdowns in this one and another strong effort.
A strong effort by the Trojans, and we often talk about poise. Once again, they kept their poise, down by a touchdown, losing the ball on the turnover on the kickoff, but really keeping things together. Their defense kept them in the ball game on that first half, not allowing South Portland to convert those turnovers into points.
Yeah, even though Thornton put up 31 points on the board and allowed 16, I think the defense really outperformed the offense, and they had a good, solid effort. That one short drive to start the game, coming on the turnover and allowing that one, and then the safety, not the defense's fault there again. The one tough drive they gave up, of course, Harvey brilliant in that 62-yard drive to get them right back in it. But Thornton Academy wins. They move to 3-0. Moving to our gutsy players of the game. Offensively, dependable, dangerous, dynamite Dave Nassie. Dave, you tell us which one you like, if any, but he was just brilliant again. 6 receptions. He was there, and tough guy to bring down, and he was the one that caused that 15-yard penalty. Some frustration on the South Portland team not being able to bring him down.
There weren't many occasions where they were able to cover him this evening. They decided they were going to put a corner, give him single coverage out there, and Nassie driving his man down the field and was very effective in catching the ball, but most impressive after catching the ball, converting more yardage for Thornton Academy, and I think that's a weapon you're going to see them use to their advantage a lot this season.
And a strong defensive effort once again for Dave Nassie, who goes at 175 pounds. But Dave Nassie, the offensive player. On defense, we're going to do something we haven't done, I don't think, in the history of our coverage of Thornton Academy football on CTV 30. 2 consecutive weeks, the defensive gutsy player, the same guy. We like Greg Lamar. We thought about it. You know, the defense played well, but Lamar, again, the standout. And we'll give it twice to an offensive player. Why the heck not the defensive player? And you know Greg's got to be loving that at this point.
I think he just did a somersault off the couch myself. But, Greg, we got to tell you, there's going to be a shortage of him after this because we're really concerned. We don't want you to get up too heavy in the weight department. So, but great job this evening, all kidding aside. He was in the backfield again. The great penetration again. And if he continues to play that way, who knows, down the road, he may be munching another sandwich from Wags.
All right, Greg Lamar, our defensive gutsy player, 2 weeks in a row, and he'll be visiting a store he stops in often enough. Thanks again to Wagner's Market. Next week, Thornton Academy back home to play the Cheverus Stags. Cheverus right now not offering much in the way of a little bit of collision for the rest of Western A. It should be an easy afternoon, but Thornton, I think what they really need and want more than anything, just come out and play error-free football. They haven't been able to do that this season.
Execution, once again, is the key, and you have to stay away from turnovers, costly penalties, and it is difficult to walk onto the field as an offense and go on a 12, 14, 15-play drive without any mistakes. That's what Thornton Academy has to strive for as they progress into this season.
And once again, Thornton Academy winning, moving to 3-0. Our final score, 31-16 for my entire staff. Again, these guys are incredible. Tonight, the simulcast, a little difficult to put it all together and keep focus in this one, but we managed our way through it. But for Dennis Avery, Mark Pickard, Tony Ryan, Marc Paquette, I'm Jay Harper. And as we leave tonight, I just had a brilliant idea, a high school challenge that maybe I can win. And this is pretty good, and we're going to show you at home right now what I have in mind. And I think I could beat the Thornton Academy players in this one. Let's go. You ready? You grab the mic, Tony.
Harper lines up the kick.
You gotta snap.
I'm gonna snap. I have to set this one up though. He could be the hero. After a very undistinguished sporting career, the fans are on their feet. It's a snap. It's wide, right? Must be the boots.
But anyway, the final score, a high school challenge for the Thornton Academy team. It's been a fun afternoon, evening here in South Portland. We'll catch you next week.